What's the number one piece of advice I give people if they want to be successful at real estate investing, have a positive landlord-tenant relationship, and actually enjoy being a landlord? Well, it's doing tenant screening. Tenant screening is the best thing I believe a landlord can do in order to have a positive experience in rental management. Now, we've talked a lot about tenant screening. We've gone over the main reports that you might want to run on a rental applicant, the benefits of them, like credit report, criminal history, and the differences that you can find in the different reports, and why or why not an eviction might show up on someone's eviction history report. And today I want to talk about another one of my favorite reports that is really valuable to a landlord who wants to verify income for their rental applicant. And that is the income verification report as part of your tenant screening package. Now, I use a company called PayScore. It's integrated with Rentec Direct. It is a really simple process in order to find out what types of income your rental applicant has to ensure that they're going to be able to afford living at your property. My name is Casey Miller. I work for Rentec Direct Property Management Software. I'm also a landlord, a real estate developer, and a real estate investor. I've also been writing about landlord-related topics for over a decade on the Rentec Direct blog. And today we're going to talk about the income verification report in your tenant screening package. Now, what is income verification report specifically? It makes sense when you're running a background screening check on your rental applicant that you want to find out what their sources of income are or how they're going to pay their rent each month. Now, in some states, you might not be able to make a decision on where the income comes in from, talking about like making a judgment of saying like, oh, well, that's a child support payment, so that doesn't really count as income. So a lot of states actually have rules that protect people who receive certain types of income or payments, so a landlord can't make a housing decision based on that source of income. What they can make a decision on is how much that dollar amount is, and if that's going to play a factor in whether or not the rent amount that you're charging for your property is going to be affordable based on that income. Now, how are we going to prove that? Sure, you can ask for pay stubs, copies of checks, tax forms, 1099s, 1040 tax forms, but one of the easiest things to use is an income verification report. And what an income verification report does is it actually is something that you would sign your rental applicant for, send them an invite to say, hey, we're doing an income verification. Can you please log in to this platform through a secure connection using a service like Plaid, and it actually connects directly to a rental applicant's bank account. And the automation of that income verification platform will analyze someone's bank account and see where the recurring payments happen. So they'll be able to see like a direct deposit coming in, but also if someone actually deposits a paycheck manually every month, the automation of an income verification report can actually look at that and see like, okay, yep, they're getting, it looks like a routine paycheck from this one company every month, but then maybe they're also getting other distributions that come from maybe not a company that provides a pay stub, but it could be child support payments or a distribution from a trust, or in student housing, maybe it's a big lump sum from a student loan or a scholarship. And so the income verification program actually analyzes this and gives you a report that says, that's super easy to read, and it says about a tenant, okay, they have recurring payments of this every month, and they have non-recurring payments of this every month. Here is a 12-month average of their monthly income, and here's a 3-month average, because maybe at the beginning of the year they had, really big non-recurring payment. So that seems like a lot, but it's not coming in every month. So looking at that 3-month average can be really helpful. And then it can also show you their savings account and their checking account. And then the applicant can actually go in and give an explanation for something. They can say, these 3 Venmo payments were from a freelance job that I did. If you think about the types of work, gig work out there, beauty services, freelance art services, a lot, even landscaping services, a lot of those service providers get paid through non-traditional payment forms, especially as like a self-employed service provider. So you'll see Venmo payments that aren't the same every month and aren't recurring and don't necessarily have a receipt attached to them. But when you see them all analyzed and stacked together in a report, then that can give you more confidence as a landlord or a property manager that yes, this tenant does have verifiable income, and it actually is going to hit my threshold of, let's say you want to show that the monthly income is 3 times the rent that you're charging, and verify that they're able to going to be able to maintain the responsibility of the rental contract to pay their rent every month. So the income verification report is a report that I like to stack on top of some of my other tenant screening reports. We can pull credit history to see what someone's debt to income ratio is, but then also use that income verification report to say, like, based on this income verification report, I know that they get routine payments, they get quarterly payments of this amount, they're going to be able to meet their debt obligations that I see on a credit report, and then they're also going to be able to meet their rent obligation based on all of this information that's coming in. And let's use the criminal history report too to see that they're not convicted of a violent crime that would indicate that they aren't responsible enough to maintain and uphold that rental contract that you have. So every tenant screening report, I really like to think about, how can I use this to make an informed screening decision? And that income verification report is great because it's all aggregate and stacked together and makes it really simple to make a decision, versus if you're not using a service like that, you may ask for pay stubs and tax records and a look at, like, especially a service worker, are you saying, like, please bring me an invoice of all the invoices that you've received? That sounds like a lot of work when you could just look at an aggregate number that really gives you the confidence to make an informed screening decision. So income verification, eviction history report, criminal history, credit report, those are some of my top tenant screening reports that I really recommend that all landlords and property managers understand and utilize in order to make an informed housing decision and give yourself the opportunity to have the most positive experience in managing rental housing. My name is Casey Miller. I work for Rentec Direct Property Management Software. I'm always here to give you lots of helpful advice on what it's like to be a landlord, the best way to maintain a relationship with your tenants, and how to be a great property manager. Come and visit me on the Rentec Direct blog and stay tuned for more videos.